Well, how's this for a setup? Happy Friday! Concrete's on the way here, so I gotta get cracking and get my hoses all connected up and everything else. We'll come back, we'll talk a whole bunch about the setup, we'll talk about what we're gonna pour. In the meantime, while I get set up, I'm gonna leave you guys with some time-lapse GoPro 360 footage of how we did this with our cribbing blocks, how we got the front end from there up to there. And she is up there. My stomach still gets a little bit funny every time I do this, I'm not gonna lie. The long hose we're just hooking up to our line. That's how we got the long guy at the end of the boom. Quick double check on our dunnage. We're good, we're solid, away we go. God dang. Oh yeah, I'll come down and just drag her out. About as close as I want to get to that roof line. Leave a couple feet for when that boom fills up, loads up, sags down. Yeah, so today we're going to pour the sidewalk, which ties in the pool deck. It's all sponge float finish here. Once we go to the line work, I'll move to single-ended 2.5 inch hose. I might even put the lay flat on. We'll see what happens here. We'll just get out of the stuff that we don't reach here first. Perfect day for concrete, nice and cool, just enough cloud cover. Absolutely perfect. Pretty good vantage point here. Let's see, we got about 3-4 feet from the closest point on the roof. I do not want to get any closer than that. Leave a little bit of a buffer, if you will. Beautiful pool. You don't see them deep like this too often anymore. You could full-on dive in that end.
You have anything in there?
No, just water. Just like a cup of water. So Jimmy, I'll just shake a little into the hose, and then we'll just shake it through. Just get a little dribble in the hose, and we'll shake it. We won't push it. Shake it. Shake it off. If you sing that too well, we'll get monetized. Okay. Yeah, we'll just shake that along. Pump is off. We just got gravity pushing the mud. Give her a little. Where are we at? We're right. A little shake. Okay, good.
I even have a gift for you over there. Huh? Okay, me and Jimmy will help pump.
Okay. I'll go real slow. There's going to be a little bit of air. There it is. Okay. Beautiful. Double check our roof line now that our boom is loaded up. Yo! Beautiful. Real slow for the first bit. That small 2-inch hose is very unforgiving in terms of air. Even a little bit of air through that 2-inch line, I'll give it a little, well, a big pop. So we go real slow.
Gary, you don't have any concrete back behind that pipe there.
Look at that, we even pull a wire out. The most common YouTube troll comment, you didn't pull a wire mesh up. Jack of all trades. Yeah. Okay, first load down, and it is lay flat time. Let's see how this works. All right, here we go. It's lay flat time. So we got the Conform's 4-inch and smaller air cuff. It accommodates a 4-inch to as small as a 1.5-inch hose. The standard one is 5-inch to 3-inch. This is 4-inch to 1.5. So I'm thinking it might be a little bit more effective with this 3-inch lay flat hose. I'm sure the 5-inch version will work as well. And then, yeah, we're all safety slinged up. So unfortunately on the lay flat, you can't put a sling on the body of the hose because it'll just choke into it. So we have to go off the collar on this one. Normally I like to go off the body of the hose, but it is what it is. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how effective the cuff is with the lay flat. We might have to play around with the air pressure on the regulator a little bit, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. So there it is in action. About a 2 3/4 on the dial. And we got a nice steady flow. I'm gonna say right now, that does not dampen the splash as much as running a 2.5-inch whip hose. The benefit is, it is a hose with the ability to expand to 3 inches, so we're mitigating any chances of plugging. But I don't think, we'll see when we get up on the pool deck here, how it works. But don't know that at slow speeds, it's gonna slow it down as much as just running a 2.5-inch whip. We shall see. More importantly right now, let's see if the air cuff has the ability to pinch this shut. Pump off. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna be good that way. Shake the hose empty below the pinch point. I'm still gonna put a strap on this anyhow. I think because the lay flat hose, it's gonna be prone to keeping some clingers, hangers on in the hose below the pinch point even. So I think it's gonna be easier just to rope it. Well, maybe not. I was gonna say then relying on the cuff completely, but we might be okay. Shake this out. There we go. Oh shoot. That's actually pretty good. Better than I thought. Winning. Wow. Free salsa lessons only on Fridays. Jimmy, you're looking at that hose thinking, what is he doing? What is he doing?
He's gonna be like, I'm gonna get.
We're eliminating splatter from the equation, or at least trying to.
Oh, you got your other hose on.
Yeah, the lay flat. You got the fire hose out, man.
You haven't used that in forever.
In forever, yeah.
I remember you brought it one time and then it just...
Kind of. She's been on a bit of a hiatus, but yeah. Perfect job for you.
Okay, if he doesn't need any more, can you start shoveling some behind that range for these guys? Gary, you got your vibrator handy? Gary, got the vibrator handy?
So first impression, what do you think so far?
Oh, it's working good.
I don't think it dampens as well as a 2.5-inch whip hose, but it's definitely better than a 3. Never get tired of these setups. They just look so freaking cool to me anyhow. The story of my life, setting up on hills. The story of my life. Why did I pluralize that? I don't know, it's Friday. Cut me some slack.
Okay, now you can stick it in. Just want to get concrete on the side.
That's this one.
What do you think, Raj? Do you like it? It's okay, right? A 2.5-inch whip hose is pretty good too, honestly. If we had mixes that wouldn't pump through a 2.5-inch hose, this would be a no-brainer. But yeah, I agree with Roger. It's okay for this. And Roger's in a good mood because he's getting a complimentary lunch next week. I promised him that if one of our videos hit 10K views, we'd get the crew lunch. So I'll insert a link up here to the to said video. But we did it. We hit 10K. We did it.
I'm hungry.
He's so hungry. He's been saving his appetite. He hasn't eaten for weeks in anticipation of this. Yeah, if we were pumping like a 3/4 aggregate mix, this would be a no-brainer using the lay flat, because we'd never get that with our mixes here. We'd never get a 3/4 mix through a 2.5-inch whip hose. But most of our work is 1/2-inch stone, so the 2.5 it just makes more sense for us, I think. Definitely pretty tight along the roof line. Perfect.
Oh, you saw me?
Little black ticks on the wall there that you can use.
Some the Holy Grail, Monty Python?
Oh yeah. Rubbery.
Little shrubbery? Yeah.
Hold on, screens here.
What's the one where the dude gets every one of his limbs cut off trying to be a tough guy?
Come on, I'll bite your head out.
Is that the Knights of Me? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Black Knight, yeah.
The best is when he does the sex ed sketch where the bed folds out of the wall and he brings his wife in. Have you seen that one? Right in front of the classroom? Yeah, the bed folds out of the wall like a Murphy bed. John Cleese. All right, we finally got a break to talk about the setup. Classic Dica ProStack. There it is. Dica ProStack. Get the front end a mile in the air setup. Looking good, feeling good. Within 3 degrees of level. Almost dead center. Wow, that's the way we like it. Whenever I do this, I mentioned in previous videos, always have a wheel chock behind the tires. When you're leveling up and moving the pump around or jacking it up, there's potential for it to skip ahead. So we always chock the wheels. Yeah, this worked out really well. I'm happy with it. The only PIA on asphalt, obviously you can't level it with a shovel with moving dirt around, so I had to kind of play around with some timbers and another Dica pad. Dica has their self-leveling pad coming to market soon. which is a circular pad with almost like two pie-shaped pieces to it. And as you rotate them, the orientation between the pie shapes changes and adjusts the pitch for level. So I could do away with all this and have a self-leveling pad right on the asphalt, which would be amazing. Super looking forward to that, because it's always a pain in the butt doing this. And we do so many setups on hills. It's called the level right pad. And it is coming to market very soon. What are we gonna do? We got a hill. What do we do? I wouldn't put a swivel foot on a hill. That would be dangerous. Well, it's got a level built right in.
Yeah, we're basically level.
Problem solved, just like that. I hope to be the first or one of the first to get it. We'll make some awesome videos, show you what it can do. But for setups like this, it would be highly beneficial for us. But yeah, super happy with the setup here. Worked out really well. A little bit of sweat involved. Sweat equity in this setup. But we're good, we're level, we're safe, we're solid. Just the way we like it. But yeah, we end up with a lot of setups like this in our market because we live in and around the mountains. So beautiful. Here's one the guy from Texas taught me. Catching the bounce. Sorry, guys.
Run it through really good from the second one to the first one.
What do you think, Roger? Setting perfect or what? Don't jinx it. I was gonna say easy Friday. Never mind. I was gonna say easy Friday. All right, here we go. Home stretch. Last few barrels, and then we'll swing around and pump back into the mixer. Suck the sponge. Jackify the front end on this thing and hit the road. All right, I'll just cycle this around before I pump back into the mixer, get it nice and wet. And because I've got stupid toggle switches for water agitator, I won't use mine. I'll borrow the mixers. Man, oh man, I wish I had levers for water agitator. You can't underestimate the value of levers. Clean up the back of the hopper here while we're at it. There we go. That's lots. Then we'll just work this stuff around real good. Knock any buildup off the back. Then we'll drop her in the hopper of the mixer, or the drum of the mixer I should say. Pump her right down, pull her sponges back, yada yada yada. Alright, so I'm going to pump this down a few strokes. I get it about 2 strokes from sucking air. So today, I'm going to grab something special, So many videos when I use my sugar, my retarder, whatever, everybody says, just use a can of Coke. So you know what? Today is viewer's choice. A can of Coke it'll be. I got about a 40-minute drive to the washout area. So we'll give her a little refreshing beverage. Right across the back of the hopper is where I like to put it. If I put it up front, I find it doesn't get mixed in across the back enough. There we go. We'll do a little bit up front. Just a little bit of sugar goes a long ways. The reason why I pump this down first before throwing that in, I don't want to get the Coca-Cola into the drum of the mixer, because I got to go back to the yard and they'll put this stuff into lock blocks. And if it's full of sugar, they go to strip the block forms tomorrow, and they just go goosh. So We do this to stay in the good books of the ready mix guys, so that we will continue to have this luxury of being able to pump out back into the mixer drum. And I'll just continue pumping out, get a little bit of air through, and then we'll bring the boom back down. Pull our sponges back, easy peasy. The lay flat hose, I do like to be up here where I can see into the drum there and see that I've got flow coming out of that hose to make sure that it's not kinked. God forbid if it were to kink and we push air behind it, poof, bad things would happen. So it's a good vantage point right here. Hopefully I can zoom in close enough to display exactly what I'm seeing. Wondering what I'm doing here. When I pump out, I lift 4 sections straight up. But before I do that, as soon as I finish pumping in the mixer, I give it about 10 seconds to drain. Then I take about 10 strokes in reverse to pull all the concrete in those first few sections back down to the deck pipe. Then when I lift sections 3 and 4 straight up, whatever's in there, there's room for it to fall back down into section number 1. Then I can come back down in a Z, and essentially everything is empty except for the deck pipe and a little bit in my main section there. And when I pull that ball back, I don't have air concrete through the Z formation sections of the boom. That is the best way to pull the ball back in a Z with success every single time. Obviously, if you're on a job site with clearance restrictions or whatever, doing it this way is not an option. There are other ways, but that's a future video. But for most of the jobs I do, pump out in a bit of an arc, as much of a roll as you can with a 5-section Z boom. Let that tip section drain out for a few seconds. 10 strokes in reverse, lift 1, 2, 3, 4 straight up, and for the love of God, make sure that hose is nice and empty before you lift up, because you don't want any dribbles or handfuls falling out from 40 feet in the air. So we will proceed here. So I get those straight. Might be tough for you to hear through the audio here, but there's some concrete falling back down. Now I'm going to drop this back down in a Z. The trees make it a little bit interesting. So I'm going to drop back down over the hopper, and there's probably going to be a few handfuls that we're still hanging up in the tip elbow and the reducers. So we'll come back down here. We will disable our air cuff, like so. See what comes out of this hose. Probably a little bit, yeah. As suspected, a few handfuls. Nothing crazy. The lay flat does tend to cling to the concrete a little bit. I mean, I guess that's what it's designed to do, really. So we're good there. We'll take a couple strokes in reverse, just so that stuff that's in the main section, we can pull that right back into the deck pipe. So nothing crazy. Turn my auto RPM control off. It's a bit of a pain in the butt come cleanup time with all the fluctuations. That mud coming back up a little bit. We got the air. That's about as much as you want to pull now. I'll swing over, buck the hose off, pull the sponges back. For cleaning the lay flat, we'll take a page out of the book of my buddy Darren from Froneberger Pumping and Conveying. If you don't follow his channel, you definitely should. He's got pumps, telebelts, trailer pumps. I think he's got a brand new 47-meter Sani coming soon too, so lots of exciting stuff going on over there. He's a big lay flat hose guy, so what he taught me was kink it, and then we're going to load it up with water here. We'll lift up a little bit first. We'll fill it with water. Lots and lots of water here. Several gallons. But what we get, we'll lift it up. And we'll unfold this, so I'll keep this in the gravel so it doesn't run out onto the road. Just like that, we're clean. Thank you, Darren from Frontenberger. Awesome, awesome tip. Appreciate it, buddy. Okay, let's drop this down and pull some sponges back. There's my bucket. Over by the pool ladder, of course. Yeah, got it. What's that?
Somebody's half float.
Oh, okay, well. Oh no! Oh no! Well, that's what happens when you line drive.
Okay.
When you line drive the.
You're far enough away from the edge, so you're okay.
When you line drive the hand float at me, that's kind of what you get.
Marksmanship.
Okay.
I meant to do that.
All is fair. There's a self-defense mechanism, Roger. Okay, pulling back in a Z. The first sponge, I'm gonna go quite quick with it. The idea is just get her home, get those pipes 95% clean. The second sponge in the water can do the fine cleanup work, the detail work, if you will. So the full volume. About halfway on that now. Oh, one thing I forgot. Cardinal rule, don't stop halfway through sucking the ball back. But I forgot something, so I did. Naughty, naughty. Normally I wouldn't do that. I don't want to cut a sponge. I pride myself on getting years out of my sponges. There we go. Okay. Where were we? Coming back, progressing through the pipes. You can hear it passing through the swing gate. There it is, it's on. Slow it down to about 30% volume. I like to leave the agitator running when I pull the first ball back, just so that coke I'd put in the hopper can mix in as the concrete's coming back. Second ball, I don't really care too much. Now I'm gonna go a little bit lighter on the water today because I'm actually taking this back to the yard. Even though it's got a little bit of Coca-Cola in it, I'm gonna add to my my little parking slab with this stuff. But for two sponges, it doesn't take a whole bunch of water. I mean, more is always better, but I'm very confident in the cleaning effect, abilities, whatever you want to call it, of just putting a couple liters in between there. And that one I go real slow with it, and I'm just gonna carry on and put all my gear back together while I'm waiting for it, and then I'll check before I fold up. I'll put my ear on the end of the whip hose I'm gonna reinstall and just check for that sound of the ocean. All good, buddy. Pieced back together with the 5-4, 4-3 reducer, 3-inch whip hose, and the air cuff. That's how we normally always fold this thing up, because 80% of our jobs, well, I shouldn't say it, 50% are with the 3-inch hose, probably 25 are with the 2.5, and the rest is 4-inch and 3.5-inch hose. Let's listen for that ball. I can hear the ocean, can you? We're good, both sponges back. I've seen guys that'll paint a mark on the second ball, so when they open the back end up, they know that they're looking at the second ball, not the first one. Well, we use a hard sponge and a soft sponge, so I can tell by looking at them the difference. And with the pin there, it stops them both right there anyhow. It keeps them from getting sucked into the back end. With the water in between the two, sometimes that water can flush the first one in and cut it. That's why the pin is super helpful. Pin stopper. all packed up. Man, oh man, I am sweating. Ooh wee! The Dica blocks make it easier, but it still is some work getting this girl up and back and down, that's for sure. Let's check in on the guys before we go. There we go. Give her a hand wipe and then finish it out with the sponge trowel. It's a beautiful thing. Wonderful. Don't mind me just sneaking up on you. So hand trowel, then the sponge is the last thing, Raj? Right? Is that how it goes? I should know this by now.
How what?
Hand trowel and then sponge it? Is this all sponge?
Yeah, we wait till it dries hard enough.
And then hit it with a sponge. Well, I'd love to hang out for that, but I won't. Well, if we end up back here for something else, I'll get some footage of the finished product. It's going to be great, though. When Roger's on, it's going to be great. I'm buttering him up because I owe him lunch, and I don't want him to push me too hard on his collection methods. So, yeah. All right, Roger. See you later, man. Have a good weekend. We're actually going up to the Sunshine Coast to do a job next week. And I think that's where Roger's going to cash in on his meal. Jimmy, what do you think of the lay flat? Full honest review. We keep it honest at the Canadian Concrete Pumper channel. What do you think of the lay flat hose?
I like it.
You like it?
Able to dip in behind those frames and no spot.
Do you think it's better than the 2.5 whip, or?
Yeah.
You do?
Because the 2.5 inch, you're still gonna have to lay it out.
Right.
Slow it down. That thing just slows it down by.
Well, I've heard guys say they'll put like a giant clothes peg, like a clamp on it,
Yeah.
and that'll actually slow it down even more. So.
I'd like to try it on some architectural walls where we're hopping all over the place.
Yeah, that'll be the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, well Jimmy likes it better than the 2.5 inch hose. I thought he was gonna say like the 2.5 better. Okay, well that's one check mark for the lay flat. To be continued. Beautiful. That's interesting, actually. I thought they were gonna say they like the 2.5 inch hose better, but no. And the placer's word is the final word when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I can definitely see if for some reason we had to use a 3/4 ag mix on something like this where we're pouring slow, the lay flat would really shine compared to like a conventional 3-inch whip hose. I know some guys in some markets are laughing because a 3-inch is like teeny tiny compared to what they usually use, but for our market, 3-inch is the big hose for residential. But anyhow, but before we do the outro, let's just pay homage here to I tire shined everything. I tire shined the whole back end. Oh man, in 20 feet she looks brand new. But you know how it goes. Till next time, keep on pumping. Over and out. All right, here we go. We're about an hour later. Coca-Cola washout. Let's see how that mud in the hopper hung on. See what we got here. Oh yeah, that stuff went nowhere. Say that was effective, wouldn't you? Beautiful. All right, 1 can of Coke in the concrete. 3 hours later, in the sun. What do we got? It's still softy. Perfect. Canadian Concrete Pumper. Oh, maybe she's a little firmer than we thought. There we go. Perfection.